my media coursework, I created 2 adverts as my main task and a sponsorship sequence and a web pop-up for my ancillary tasks. My media coursework involved me using a variety of different media technologies for all 3 main stages: research and planning, construction and evaluation. I'll be talking about how each media technology was used for each specific stage. However, I will divide the stages into hardware, internet-based and computer programs. Concerning hardware, I used a Mac, an iPhone, a mic, a video camera and a Nikon camera. The Mac was vital throughout the entire process of my media coursework, as everything I submitted for my coursework was digital, as it was posted online. Also, the Mac held all the programs I required to complete my research and planning, construction and evaluation. The use of an iPhone was only used in research and planning to be specific. I only used an iPhone to provide photographic evidence for tasks which I had hand-drawn or handwritten. I used a mic, or what may be seen as a voice recorder, in the construction of one of my ancillary tasks, my sponsorship sequence. I used it to record only a short clip of sound, which was simply stating that my clothing line sponsored MTV's Geordie Shore. One of my most important hardware tools was the video camera. This was used for my construction of my adverts, which was really important, as it was my main task. Lastly, for hardware, I used a Nikon studio camera, which allowed me to take pictures for both my sponsorship sequence, which happened to be a series of photos instead of video, and for my web pop-up. This meaning I used it for my construction stage. Concerning internet-based, I used a varied source of websites which permitted me to achieve completion in my coursework. I used Blogger, YouTube, Slides, Prezi, SlideShare, Facebook and Storyboard That. Blogger was the most important internet-based technology I used, and perhaps my most important media technology of all. Blogger was used during the entirety of my coursework, as it was the website which I posted all my coursework to, for you the examiner to see, and also for my teacher and peers to observe. YouTube was used in both my research and planning and construction stages. Through research and planning, YouTube allowed me to view existing adverts following the same topics as mine. For example, Boohoo adverts, OMG fashion adverts, Topshop adverts, etc. This was very helpful for the development of my own personal adverts. Through construction, YouTube allowed me to post my adverts and sponsorship sequence for it to be seen by my teachers, my peers and you the examiner. YouTube will also be used for this specific evaluation question, as I have videoed this and need it to be posted for it to be seen. Slides and Prezi are basically the same thing. They are 2 websites which convey slideshows in different formats. Personally, I prefer Slides as it is new to me and I find it easier to navigate in comparison to Prezi. I use Prezi and Slides for my research and planning, as it differentiated forms of which I showed my research and planning, as opposed to keep doing it through PowerPoint. SlideShare is also slightly linked to Slides and Prezi, as it is a website which allows you to post slideshows which you have created on the program PowerPoint. I again use this for my research and planning. The creation of a Facebook fan page was one of my tasks within my planning. Therefore, the use of Facebook was essential, as I had to post the page on the website. Lastly, for internet-based technologies which I use Storyboard That, which is only actually used for one task in my research and planning, which was the creation of my storyboard for both of my adverts. Using this program was more efficient than hand-drawing the storyboards, and it was a lot easier. Concerning computer programs which must be installed into the computer, I use Photoshop, Premiere Pro, PowerPoint and Word. I use Photoshop for research and planning and the construction of my ancillary tasks. In research and planning, I use Photoshop to create a skeleton layout of my web pop-up, which was very helpful for the use of Photoshop in my construction, as I was already aware of the measurements and how I wanted my web pop-up to appear. I also used Photoshop in the creation of my sponsorship sequence, as my sequence was a series of photos. I edited these so they all seemed similar and edited out any errors. Premiere Pro was absolutely vital within my construction phase, both my main task and one of my ancillary tasks. For my main task, Premiere Pro allowed me to edit all of my video clips together and edit them so they had interesting effects. I really enjoyed using Premiere Pro, as I felt I had really developed an understanding on the use of Premiere Pro, and I could complete my work to a good standard. I used Premiere Pro to film my sponsorship sequence, to film all of the images into a moving sequence, which seemed like a photo shoot. I used PowerPoint for my research and planning and evaluation. This showed my thoughts and ideas through a slideshow, as opposed to an essay format, which can become quite tedious. I used Word for both my research and planning and my evaluation. I wrote things usually in short with Word, as I didn't like the idea of an essay format. However, I did write one task in an essay format on Word, which was my treatment, because I thought it would be suitable. I used Word in my evaluation to create a quick survey for feedback. This was very simple and quick.